Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so can you hear my voice? Boleh dengar tak suara saya dengan jelas? Boleh dengar? Okay, clear. Okay, thank you. So let us start our session today with the recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay, so first of all, thank you very much class for your participation today. Happy fasting kepada yang Muslim. Okay, so hopefully walaupun berpuasa, the performance, the energy is still there, kan? Puasa ni sepatutnya tak menghalang kita untuk ni lah, okay? Alright, so for today, as I told you before in our last session, we are going to do the proposal presentation hari ni ya. Alright, but before that, okay, let us take a look in our online learning. Okay, so for our class activity 1 today, which is we are going to have a proposal presentation, which is class activity 2. Okay, but for class activity 1, okay, project proposal submission and turnitin. So let's take a look at the result. Okay, sekejap. Alright. So you can see here, I think you will have the index or the result of the similarity index kat sini in your email. Okay, so let's say for example here Babazir, the similarity index is 6%, which is good, less than 20%. Okay, Umarul Zaki, okay, I'm still waiting for your submission of proposal or any draft. Oh, ni Umarul ni yang Umarul Zaki ada? Umarul Zaki, are you here?
Ada doktor.
So Umarul, you are the one yang taking research method and FYP in the same semester, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tak apa. Kat sini Umarul Zaki, you do not have to upload for turnitin, but please upload in the submission proposal below sebab just draft pun tak apa dan tu
Alright. Can.
Okay, Kat Jinkian, so look at your similarity index here, 39%, which is very high, quite high. Okay, it should be less than 20%. So please take a look at the for the sources yang sama tu kat mana. Then please make some amendment of the changes ataupun correction so that you can have less than 20% for turnitin result. Okay, kat sini, right? Aiman also slightly above 20%, which is 24%. So Aiman also, please take a look at your proposal. Look at the sources yang mana yang sama tu, please rewrite ataupun rephrase supaya less than 20%. So if you include the bibliography ataupun the reference, please exclude lah, okay, so that they boleh capture better, right? Amirul also less greater than 20%, which is 31%. So please do some correction here, okay? Rephrase ataupun rewrite kat mana-mana yang sama dengan articles lah, okay? Hazwan, good, 7%. Yi Kiao, 27%, slightly higher than 20%. Okay, Kamun also 29%. Those with percentage of high than or more than 20%. Okay, please look at your proposal. Okay, fine. Where is the part yang kamu perlu ubah lah so that the similarity index will be less than 20%. Nitya and Vinotira, good, very good, 2%. Okay, Nasrul Nizam, border kan, 20%. Kau boleh lepas ni cari lagi kat mana so that you can have less than 20%. Okay, Natasha, good, 13%, right? Okay, so this is the similarity index captured by turnitin. Okay, please kena tengok lagi sekali Sekejap. Any questions so far for your turnitin index? Any question? No question so far? Okay. Okay, so for the next one is the you have to submit the proposal here. Okay, this part. Okay, you submit here for turnitin index. And the submission here is for your mark for the class activity 1, which is proposal submission. So just submit your proposal here for Umar Zaki. Okay, just submit your draft here. Okay, draft on what are the what is the topics that you think you want to have for your research lah. Okay, proposal kat sini. So submit here. Berapa orang kita tengok kat sini? Okay, so out of 14 participant, and I think today we have 15 participant. Ada a newcomers. Ada 15 participants, so only 7 submitted. Okay, one submitted draft. So you have to click the button submit in order for you to submit the proposal. Okay, kena submit. Kita tengok siapa. So, Bawazir, thank you. Submitted. Maruzaki, still no submission. Jinkian, please submit the proposal, right? So you have to, I think you have to click the button submit. Okay. Otherwise, your submission will be status that will be the draft lah saja. Tak sampai kat saya. Okay, Aiman submitted. Amirul no submission. Syafiq no submission. Hazwan submitted. Thank you. Izati, Yi Kiao no submission. Kamun, thank you. Ada submission. Okay, then Nitya Binotira, thank you for the submission. Also, thank you to Natasha. Nasrul Nizam, masih lagi no submission. Okay, so you have another, I think one day, right? It is, the due date is on 6, right? So please, inilah, okay, please submit for the project proposal. Okay, you do not have to write anything. It is just the previous proposal that you have submitted to your supervisor from research method. Okay, so just submit here. Okay, so let's take a look on the rubric. Okay, how I'm going to measure or I'm going to mark your submission of proposal here. Kita tengok. So I'm going to measure your proposal, submission of proposal in terms of a few elements. Ada a few elements here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 elements. So in terms of criteria, clear delivery of idea. So if you manage to or able to deliver ideas with great clarity, then you will have 4 marks here. Okay, confident delivery of idea, able to deliver idea with great confidence, effective and articulate delivery of idea, understand and respond to question, and adapt delivery to audience level. So I'm going to use this rubric to mark your proposal. Okay. And the same rubric, I will use the same rubric for the proposal presentation here today. Okay. Okay, so your presentation slide, please submit your presentation slide here. Okay, letak kat sini. So are you ready for your presentation? So you will have only 5 minutes to explain what are the details of your proposal. Okay, so if you have or if I think you need some adjustment and so on, so we are going to make some adjustment, and you might want to discuss with your supervisor before we proceed with the real step of collecting data and so on lah. Alright. Okay, so do we have any volunteer to present first your proposal? Ada volunteer? Any volunteer? Boleh share your screen here and start presenting your proposal. Ada volunteer? Any volunteer, or I will call your name randomly? Ada volunteer? Any volunteer? Ada ke volunteer? Okay, just you are at the end of your study kan, so I think you should have some courage in terms of volunteer ni kan. Kan, because after this you are going to go to your practicum and so on. So this is a very good platform to practice your confident level and so on. Okay, ada yang nak volunteer? Those yang volunteer, I will add 2 marks bonus. Siapa nak volunteer?
Doctor,
Yes,
can
please.
I? Oh, Nitya, okay.
Okay,
Let
okay.
Nitya proceed first. Thank you.
Okay, so tak apa. Nitya and Vinotira, I will give you
Okay, Doctor.
2 bonus mark. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so please proceed, Nitya.
Doctor, can see the slide?
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good morning. Very good afternoon to Doctor and my fellow friends. Today I would like to present about my proposal for final project. Myself, Nityanandan Jaishankar, and my SV is Inche Mazri bin Yaakob. So first of all, I would like to introduce my title. My title is Factors that Contribute to Customer Satisfaction Towards Malaysian Electric Train Service KTMB ETS. So most of them will see three type of trains here. It's not a comparison between ETS platinum or gold or silver. It's a factors that contribute to customer satisfaction towards Malaysian electric train service. That's the title, not a comparison between any trains. So this is the general information how KTMB introduced the ETS and then the speed and then what type of class they using. The route is from KL Central to Padang Besar and Padang Besar to Gemas, and then the passengers daily is moreover than 10,000 passengers, and then the electrified double track from Gemas to Padang Besar, and then the capacity of the train. So there are three type of trains: platinum, gold, and silver. So
Okay, so
first,
3 types of Nitya. Can I
yes, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay, I understand. Okay. So for the platinum, gold and silver here, what is the classification of what kind of maksudnya how they classify this platinum, gold and silver based on what? Based on age ke, based on the fee ke apa ke?
actually, for the three type of service, Doctor, platinum, gold, and silver, different from range of price, speed, and then the service provided, and then the facility. For platinum, is then less than KL to Penang is less than 4 hours.
Alright.
Platinum, but the train price is almost 73 ringgit now. But the exact price is we don't know because they keep changing for the platinum, and then the gold and silver almost 6 hours to 8 hours. So
Alright.
platinum also they provide the for Muslims they provide the surah for praying, and then got the pantry, then got a good catering service, foods,
Okay.
same like airplane style. So
Alright.
next
Okay,
we
same. Okay,
next we
proceed.
see about the research question. So actually, for me to investigate the factors that contribute to customer satisfaction to Malaysian electric train service. So first is, are you most satisfied with KTM ETS facilities? Second is, what are the factors most contribute to customer satisfaction towards KTMB ETS? And then third is, does website design factor that contribute to customer satisfaction towards KTMB ETS? So next we see about the objective. So if I got the question means objective also must be aligned with that. So to identify the most certified factors that contribute to customer certification, and then next proceed by investigate factors that contribute to customer certification towards KTMB ETS. And then the third is to determine the website design factors that contribute to customer certification towards KTMB ETS. So actually, me and my SV, why we plan to do this research because of the second how service quality affects the customer satisfaction. So by Mumble in 2020, this is the same as our research, but the results show negative. So it's a boost for us to do this research. So basically for customer satisfaction, they will use 5 dimension in service quality and circle model. But with my guidance of my SV, we plan to do the negative result and then followed by the new IVs. So this
Negative result meaning that negative result from the previous study.
previous study, Doctor.
Okay,
For
so
the
for
negative,
this previous study, what are the factors that contribute to negative relationship?
responsiveness.
Responsiveness. So you are going to take responsiveness and then you are going to add more variables.
Are more variables.
So you are not going to use a full self-qual theory.
No, doctor.
Okay. So responsiveness and okay, website design and privacy, alright?
So basically, this would be our theoretical framework: responsive website design and privacy. Because why website design? Because nowadays COVID time, so most of them never go to the KTMB counter and then buy the ticket. So they most of them purchase the ticket via website. So website is a more contribution for the customer education. The website should be user friendly, and then they can provide the knowledge, and then the information must be clear so to purchase the ticket. And then privacy is most important in this nowadays on this online term. So how their datas, and then if they travel on KTMB ETS, if their privacy being affected, their data shared. Because if a normal people purchase a plane ticket, they will have a QR code. The QR code, if we scan, means it will reveals our what type of ticket you been using, we purchase from what credit card type, and then what bank. So it will be affected our privacy. So our dependent variable will be customer certification. Next, followed by my hypothesis. So my hypothesis is responsive is positively influence customer certification, and then second will be website design is positively influence customer certification, and third is privacy is positively influences customer certification. So next, my methodology will be research design is quantitative approach. So for my research, there will be a population of 3.93 million. So this data I collected on transportation, Ministry of Transportation. By
3.93 millions of what? Of Malaysians ke? Of the user of the KTM user ke?
Malaysian doctor.
Malaysian. So you expect that
Malaysian who using KTMB
KTM media, KTM service.
ATM service.
Okay.
So we took this, I discussed with my SV, and then we used the G power analysis to get the pilot test, and then I get D equal to 0.5, and then N equal to 328. So my research would be the respondent would be 340 to 400 responded. So we already decided. So the data question will be customers using KTMB ETS, because most of the students and then the people are using KTMB ETS nowadays to minimize their time and cost. So my questionnaire will be 7-point like scale, from very strongly agree until strongly disagree. And then my data will be represented by mean, percentage, and then standard deviation and result interpretation. So for now, I've been using IBM SPSS version 23 for data obtained and analyzed. So in future, in 2 days, I will upgrade to 26 will be. So that's all from me, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Okay. So class, although this is the presentation for your friends, and maybe I will give some comment on the presentation, but you also need to get something from the presentation, meaning that you can relate what are the what are the things that your friends are presenting with your research. Okay. So please go back to the first slide, Nitya. This is a very good topic title. Okay, this is a very good title. When you want to look at the title here, okay, we can understand that you are going to study what are the factors that contribute to customer satisfaction, right? Is it? All right. The next slide, the third slide. Okay. Okay, but before we proceed with research question, research objective, and so on, you must highlight what are the issues that motivate you to study this issue, right? Okay, what are the things? What are the importance of studying the customer satisfaction in terms of KTM user or KTM passenger? For example, you can say that okay, KTM is one of the one of the important transportation in Malaysia. It contribute to the economics of Malaysia and so on. So you must highlight what is important for us to study the customer satisfaction in terms of KTM passenger or user. Okay, so you need to have the issue. Okay, so or if you notice that okay there are some complaints from the passenger of KTM or user of KTM regarding the their service and so on. So you need to highlight. Okay, so from the introduction or from the issue, we can understand the importance of having this research. Okay, boleh Nitya?
Yes, Dr. Ken.
Okay, so in your research proposal and in your final report after this, so you have to make sure that you have justified and you have enough point to stress on what are the issues actually related to the customer satisfaction. It is not about past year's study saja. Okay, you cannot say that because this study previous study has mentioned about insignificant or a negative relationship between for example responsiveness and customer satisfaction, then you are going to proceed. Yes, it is a good justification, but you also need to come up with a real issue lah. Okay, real issue. Okay. Okay, next is on the research question, research objective. Okay, so it is aligned, RO and RQ, but when we look at three of these research question, research objective kat sini kan. So are you more satisfied with KTM ETS facilities? I think this is not very aligned with your first research objective. Look at the research objective. Are you here meaning that you want to know whether they are satisfied or not, right? Are you satisfied? But the but your first research objective, identify the most satisfied factors. Kan? So maybe dia tak align kat situ because kat sini you want to identify what are the factors. But the first research question is, are you satisfied? Adakah kamu berpuas hati? Tapi kat sini to identify a factor. So are you satisfied? Maybe yes or no. The answer will be yes or no. But to identify more satisfied factors, so you need to come up with a list of factors. For example, or you ask the question and let your respondent fill in the form, fill in the blank lah. What are the most satisfied factors? So nampak it's not not aligned lah kat sini antara RQ1 and RO1. Okay. So which of the objective ataupun question that you are going to actually ask ataupun aim for this for your first RO and RQ ni. Okay, kat sini boleh tengok balik lah. Alright, the second one, okay, sama to investigate factor, okay. Okay, the third one to determine look at the research question number 3. Okay, does. Okay, okay, research question, research objective tadi. Okay, so whether website design, meaning that kat sini for your third research objective kat sini, you are going to assess the website design, meaning that the interface kan maksud dia? Anitya, website design here meaning the interface.
Interface, Doctor. Full of
Interface alone. Bukanlah maksudnya, sebab when we are going to evaluate the website ni, there are a lot of factors jugalah. Okay, a lot of factors, interface dia ataupun dia punya design depan kan. Dia punya contoh responsiveness dia ke, dia punya functionality dia ke kan. So kat sini, in this research, you are specifically want to assess the website design, meaning that the interface dia.
Yes, Doctor. How
Betul.
people are using it and then user friendly or what?
Okay. Okay, so then actually when I read through this research objective, I can say that actually research objective number 2 is the main thing lah, because it actually explain your title. And I do think that website design factor is one of the factors actually kan, one of the factors dalam RO research objective 2 tu juga sebenarnya. kan? Sebab in RO2 you are generally asked for you are generally assess the factor kan. Maksudnya you are not mentioning any specific factors. But number 3 you are specifically pula cakap you want to assess the website design as the factor that contribute to the customer satisfaction. Okay, so it is itulah kan. Maksudnya macam 3 tu sepatutnya should list under 2 juga sebenarnya kan. Dia include under 2 juga. Okay, tapi saya tak nampak lagi macam mana your questionnaire after this semua. But macam saya kata tadi, RO1 and RQ1 is misaligned because one nak tahu are you satisfied, adakah anda berpuas hati. Yang kedua, ataupun kan sebenarnya nak tanya what are your most satisfied factors or what are. Bila what tu kita boleh list down the factors. But are you, bila tanya are you satisfied, then it is yes or no biasa jawapan. Bila yes or no, then you cannot find the most satisfied factors kat situ. Nitya faham tak? Can you understand Nitya?
Faham doktor.
Okay, so please take a look. Please discuss again
Doktor,
with your supervisor. Yes?
For the are you most satisfied? Can I change to what are your most satisfied?
Yes, that is the right question, I think, to align with your RO. Okay, because when you ask, are you more satisfied? So, are you satisfied? I can just read here, are you satisfied with KTM ETS facilities? So, I'm going to, when you ask that question, I'm going to answer either it is yes or no. But in your RO, research objective, you ask for what are the most kan? You are going to look at what are the factors kan? That you are satisfied with facility ni. So dia tak align lah kat sini the aim the question the aim kat sini tak align for the first R2 and RO1. Okay, so boleh tengok balik. Okay, and the second one is okay, but the third one is I'm quite confused because I think website design is also part of the factors that you are going to assess. It is sepatutnya it is under the RO2 lah, kan? But specifically here, you want to determine how are you going to determine? Is there you are going to have a few questions related to website design here? For example, you have
Yes,
for website design, okay, question 1, okay, are you satisfied with the color, for example, dia punya the first question regarding color, the second question regarding the button ke, the function of the website and so on lah, kan? Macam tu kan?
memang macam tu doktor. Sebab kita ambil website design ni, kita ada contoh dari website Food Panda. So how people are using the website. So we change the whole topic until we make the customer
Okay.
satisfaction towards getting the
Okay je lah. But I think actually you can have two research in this research objective and research question. Kan? You can have either to investigate factors sahaja or actually another research you can determine the website design. But if you think you manage to finish or you manage to fulfill the objective or the aims number 2 and 3 here, tak apalah. It's okay lah. Kan? But actually, okay, let's look at your theoretical framework ni. Okay, ada yang kawan-kawan lain, others please also look at your research and please relate to your research. Okay, here, so this is your IV and DV and this is your framework. This is what we call framework where we have IV and DV. And the framework here, we only have the framework here when we have a hypothesis, when we want to measure some relationship or cause and effect research lah. Alright, so here, when you want to look at the what are the most, tadi kan you want to identify the factors that influence customer satisfaction. So you are going to look at how responsiveness relate to customer satisfaction, how web design relate to customer satisfaction, and privacy relate to customer satisfaction. Is it? Betul kan Nitya? So from these three, so you are going to come up with one result ataupun result outcome lah on what are the factors in IV ni that relate or strongly relate ataupun have relationship dengan dependent variable which is customer satisfaction, right? Betul macam tu? Betul?
Yes doktor, betul.
Okay. Okay, tak apa, proceed dulu. Nanti kita akan tengok time to time nanti. Okay, go for your ni data collection tadi. Semua orang tengok je. Okay, for the methodology here. So you are planning to use quantitative approach. Okay, why? Kenapa guna, you are going to use quantitative, not qualitative, Nitya?
Most of the part is, Doctor, because of the numerical data. I want to collect the numerical data, represent the percentage, then the age, then who's the customers. So most of them like that.
Okay, so of course, when we are planning to use any approach, any method, which is either you want to use quantitative, you are going to use qualitative, you are going to use mixed method, okay, it must have a strong justification. For example, here, in this research, it is very clear that Nitya want to assess or measure the relationship. Okay, so when we are going to measure, the word measure here very related to quantitative study. Okay, if you are going to do something related to understand, to explore, that one is suitable for qualitative approach. Okay, but here, okay, I think you might want to uh, re rethink of the population and sampling method and so on here. So you are going to have, for example, tadi kan based on your study, there are 3.93 million of KTM user. Okay, and you are going to use, of course, quantitative. You are going to collect the data using quantitative approach lah. Okay, which is you are going to use survey ke? Nitya, you are going to use questionnaire survey.
Questionnaire survey, Google Form, Doctor.
Okay, then my question is, how are you going to identify the user?
By
Okay.
the
Mm.
first is by the age, and then the second will be
No,
student.
meaning that for you to distribute your questionnaire, how are you going to distribute that questionnaire and make sure that they are the user of KTM?
Actually, I got a friends, Doctor, with those are using KTM ETS, and then I got a group that using KTM ETS in a Telegram.
Okay.
So I will send to them to 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 fill in those questionnaires to understand what they get
So you
from
you have all these 300 people in the
already.
Telegram. There are 300 people.
Already almost I get 150 already. So just for 200 plus. I want to find.
So actually, how are you going to make sure that they are the respondent is really a user of KTM? What if the questionnaire kan dia pergi they goes everywhere and they reach the respondent that are also not a KTM user. So how are you going to know? How are you going to make sure that all the user, all the 300 or 400 respondent the user of KTM? This is very important, Nitya, because if you are going to collect the data and you are doing the same the mistake here in collecting the data, then you have to repeat the data collection steps, which is very of course costly dengan time consuming. Okay, so my suggestion is that you are going to do the quantitative approach. Okay, but you cannot do the we have two types of how to collect the data, right? We are going to use sampling ni, random sampling or non-random sampling. So based on the population here, it's macam nampak macam Nitya, you are going to use random sampling. But in order for you to use the random sampling, you need to have the population list. Okay? For population list for 3.93 million of user. Okay, baru boleh guna random sampling. Okay, but if you do not have the ada ke Nitya? Nitya ada tak list of user 3.93 million of KTM user ni? Ada tak list? Are you managed to get that? Tak ada, right? So it doesn't matter. Tak salah, tak ada. Okay. Okay, if we do not have the list, it doesn't mean that we have to stop the research. No. But we have another approach for data collection and sampling kat sini. Okay, so what you have to do now, since you are going to use quantitative approach, but you do not have the list. Or siapa lah those yang do not have the list of 3.93 millions of population here, meaning that you cannot use random sampling. You can use non-random sampling, and my advice is that you use purposive sampling. Purposive meaning that you purposely select your respondent based on a few criteria. And the criteria for Nitya punya research here is the user of KTM, right? Betul tak Nitya?
Betul, Doktor.
So how are you going to make sure that the respondent are the KTM user? So in your question ataupun your survey questionnaire nanti, at the top of the questionnaire, before proceed with the items or question regarding your IV and DV, you ask the respondent, have you used KTM before? Okay, so if the answer is yes, then we can ask the respondent to proceed answering all the other question, meaning that it is the right, he or she is the right respondent for your research. But if the answer for the question, have you used KTM service before, and the answer is no, then you have to exclude this respondent because it is not meeting the criteria of your research, which is to assess or to study on the KTM user. Okay, itu adalah kita panggil purposive sampling. So after this, Nitya boleh cari purposive sampling, meaning that you are purposely selecting a group of respondent based on the criteria, which is here. The criteria is that the person or the respondent must be a KTM user lah. Macam tu. Boleh Nitya? Boleh ke Nitya faham?
Boleh,
You
Doktor.
understand
Faham,
it? Yeah.
faham.
Okay. So that is my orang kata apa recommendation lah. Okay. So you do not have to study for all 3.93 million. Okay. Tak perlu cari semua pun. Okay. And you can use you can use purposive sampling lah untuk dapatkan your respondent. So that when people ask you, when the panel when the expert ask you how do you get the respondent, okay, I use purposive non-sampling method, which is I identify the user of KTM, and I make sure that only user of KTM sahaja yang respond to the questionnaire. So barulah our research is valid, right? So because if you do not have the information whether the respondent is user of KTM ke tak, so your result will be biased kan? Because the non-user KTM non-user, dia akan jawab mungkin because they do not have ataupun they never use the service, so maybe the result akan ataupun the answer will be biased. So that's why we use purposive random sampling, so that only the KTM user saja will respond to the questionnaire. Boleh ke Nitya?
Boleh, Doktor.
Alright, saya rasa itu sajalah. So after this, you can have you can find the questionnaire. Okay, so that okay to make sure that you can come up with the questionnaire survey lah untuk data to collect your data. Okay.
Doktor, one more question.
Yes. Yes.
RQ dengan RO one je problem or 1 and 3, Doktor? Because I want to later I want to contact.
RO and RQ. RO and RQ 2 and 3. As I
1 and
mentioned
3.
before, 1 and 3.
Yes, Doktor. I think 1
and
I
2 lah.
1 and 2.
So maksud kamu nak stick kepada maksudnya nak remove one of the research objective ataupun research question?
No, Doctor. I mean, I will change the whole word to a new one. Because it,
Okay,
Doctor said
okay. If you are going to use just one research objective, I suggest that you just retain the second one, to investigate factors, because actually website design is part of the factors. Unless memang kamu nak tengok specifically on website design tu. Dia macam you repeat the same research objective. You state that, okay, contoh for example, you state apa, I like sweet food for example. Number tiga state lagi, I like ice cream. So ice cream is part of the sweet food for example kan, sweet drink ke apa kan. Jadi you are stating the same thing. Macam untuk 2 dengan 3 lah in my opinion. But again it depends on you and your supervisor lah. If you think that you are going to look at you are going to orang kata evaluate website design differently, so you can have lah the research objective here, because you have to remember all the research objectives stated in your proposal, you have to test and you have to get the answer. You have to achieve the objective after at the end of your project ataupun of your yalah project or research ni. Okay, so you need to think how I'm going to answer the research objective number 1. How I'm going to answer the research objective number 2. How I'm going to achieve or aim or achieve the aim or objective for research objective number 3. Macam tu lah, okay?
Thanks.
Ikut Nitya bincang nanti dengan supervisor
Okay, Doctor.
Okay, so itu saja. Thank you Nitya. Okay, next is Vinotira, right? So do not worry, jangan risau. Saya tak marah pun kalau salah. Okay, so I just want to look at, I just want to make sure that you are in the right track, you are doing the right thing, and if you need any adjustment ke any correction, then we can have the correction at the early stage of your project. Kan, bila sometimes then we have the data collection, you have already collect the data, then suddenly we notice, oh, we have some mistake in our research objective and research question. Then you have to repeat the process again. So it is costly, time consuming kan. When of course in this semester for your final project, actually we have limited time lah. So that's why we have to plan properly. So make sure everything is very good. It's good at the beginning of the research so that we can proceed into data collection. Okay, Kamun will be the third person. Thank you, Kamun. So next one is Vinotira, please.
Okay, good afternoon to doctor. My name is Vinatira Naidu, and under the supervisor of Dr. Shaira, we will be doing the title of my project is Impact of E-commerce on Purchase Behavior of Tertiary Students, which is based on UUM students. So, chapter 1, introduction. So, for the research questions from my research is there are 4. So, to analyze the impact of e-commerce on purchase behavior on UM students, there's 4 main research. To help me to guide, to have a better understanding on the research. So, the first one is what is the students' factors towards the e-commerce on purchase behavior. Second is on the student satisfaction level towards the e-commerce on purchase behavior. Third is what is the student's relationship that is influenced towards e-commerce and the purchase behavior. And lastly, is where is a combination of where is there any relationship between the factors, the satisfaction level, and the e-commerce on purchase behavior. So for my research objectives, we have to correlate it with our research questions. So the first objective will be to identify the key factors influencing the online purchase behavior of the tertiary students in UM. Secondly is to analyze the satisfaction level among the tertiary students in UM. Third is to examine the relationship between factor influencing online purchase behavior on students' purchase behavior among UM students. And lastly is to examine the relationship between the customer satisfaction on students' purchase behavior among the UM students. So next will be the literature review. So
Vinotira, please
Yes.
exclude the literature review. Okay, just proceed with the
Okay.
review.
Okay, doctor, thank you. So there are my dependent variable for this research is impact of e-commerce of tertiary students, whereas there are 3 independent variables which consist of factors, satisfaction level, and attitude. For the methodology, we will go straight to research design. Since this is quite detailed, I'll just go to the point first, doctor. So
Please.
my research is mostly based on the exploratory research design, and I will be using the quantitative approach, as it is I'll be able to collect the data on the factors and the satisfaction level of the consumers who are doing purchase behavior of a consumer. And I will be also using a questionnaire, most probably Google form, as it's very convenient and faster. And from questionnaires I can analyze the data by researcher like me to know what are the uh, to know their responses rate faster. So the next is the measurement. So from here, there are few aspects in this questionnaires where I will be including, where there will be it does not contain two.
Okay, it's okay. Just exclude this part.
Okay. So there are two types of data collection. First is the primary. As I said, first is the questionnaire, which consists of part A and part B. So part A is where you will see the respondent's profile. Part B is based on the Likert scale from strongly agree to strongly disagree, which consists of 30 questions. And 30 questions, that means 10 questions for each independent, and for dependent, 10 questions. So total 40 questions. All questions are prepared in English only. And the second data is through
Skip this part. Do you have that 10 and 10 question? Do you have already developed the question?
not yet on the way on the process, doctor.
Right.
So this is my sampling. So we'll be evaluating the respondent based on their age from 18 to 25 years old, and using Google form. Since what I found out from last semester, the UM database, there are around 28,866 students. So from what I can understand from the sample size, according to Krigis and Morgan, is I need around 377 sample size for my respondents for my research. So the main research is based on the respondents students in UM.
That is exclusion or inclusion? I think the word is inclusion, right? The only
Right.
inclusion criteria,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
It's not
yes.
exclusion. Exclusion tu pengecualian. Inclusion tu yang kita nak include in the in the sample. Okay, right? Okay, next.
Okay, the last one is
Okay, tak apa. It doesn't matter because I think we have a lot to improve dari depan. Okay, go
yes.
back to your first. Have you discussed all these research question and research objective with your supervisor?
Yes, this is what she wanted, doctor. I
Okay.
actually had to change it 2 3 times because she said she wants this and
Okay.
that.
Okay. Let's take a look at research question number 1. Okay. What's the student factors? What do you mean what the student factors? What do
Factors
you
means
mean
what
student
makes
factors?
them to buy online, and what
Okay.
makes them to buy purchase products online. What and
Why?
whether they are
Is it because why? What are the factors that contribute to the e-commerce purchase behavior, right?
yes, doctor.
Because I think the wording here maybe because of the the structure of the apa?
Sentence is not
Yes.
right.
Because what's the student factors? When I read this sentence, it's appear that you mean that student factors ni ada apa there are a few factors of the student kan, not why. So maybe because maybe here you can rephrase
Okay,
what
doctor.
are the factors? What are the factors? Not the student kan?
Okay,
What
doctor.
are the factors contribute to students' e-commerce purchase behavior? Right? Okay, kena ubah kat sini. Sebab kalau saya baca sekarang saya macam seolah-olah you are going to list down factors on student.
Okay,
Okay.
doctor.
Okay, so
Yes, I
maybe
understand.
kena rephrase. Rephrase. What are the factors? What are the factors that contribute to uh, contribute to purchase behavior, e-commerce purchase behavior among student. Macam tu.
Okay.
Okay, boleh tukar yang ni . Okay. Kalau macam tu saya boleh faham. This one macam I quite confused, right? Okay. Be it what is the student's satisfaction level towards e-commerce on purchase behavior. You know, when we are going to assess the satisfaction level, it must come from one variable. So are you going to assess the level of satisfaction or the level of purchase behavior?
The level of the satisfaction.
Okay, satisfaction level towards e-commerce on purchase behavior. So there are three things here. Okay, satisfaction,
Okay.
student satisfaction, e-commerce, purchase behavior. So I think the right the right sentence is that what is the student satisfaction level towards e-commerce, right? So you are going to assess the level of student satisfaction when they use the e-commerce, right? Betul tak?
Yeah. Yes,
It is
betul.
not related with purchase behavior, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
because when we use e-commerce or when we look at the purchase behavior, there are a specific theory on purchase behavior. Okay, so the satisfaction sometimes satisfaction will be the independent variable. Sometimes it will be the dependent variable. So is it true here you are going to assess the student satisfaction level on the e-commerce, right?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. E-commerce ni is it any specific e-commerce platform? For example, you are using or you are assessing the specific e-commerce such as Lazada ke,
Mostly
Shopee ke,
Shopee and Lazada, doctor.
Shopee and Lazada. Why I ask the question? Because if we are going to assess the different e-commerce platform, okay, so the result might be biased. For example, okay, some people or some student or some respondent who use Lazada, they think that they are satisfied with Lazada, okay, but some
Okay.
group of people who use Shopee, they think they are not satisfied with Lazada or Shopee. But when the result, we mix together the result will be biased because it is not telling us the right or the whole story of the specific e-commerce tadi.
Okay.
So saya cadangkan lah, okay, I advise you. Tapi this is again, it will be um,
Based on my supervisor.
based on your supervisor balik lah. It
Okay.
will be okay. Depends on your supervisor balik. So my suggestion is that you can maybe you can specifically focus on one e-commerce platform. For example, if you are going to do assess on Lazada, then Lazada saja. Kalau kata Shopee, so Shopee saja. So when we have the result, we know that okay, this is the satisfaction level of student, EM student towards Lazada, towards Shopee. Kan? Kalau we mix together without knowing kan, without knowing when respondent respond to the question without knowing they are assessing the Lazada ke they are assessing the Shopee, then the the result dia akan jadi mix and maybe biased lah.
Okay, doctor. Thank you for.
Okay, so I think here the right or the macam bukan right lah, maybe this is depends on the supervisor after this. What is the student satisfaction level towards e-commerce platform? Kalau nak guna platform, e-commerce is very e-commerce
Detail.
ni a type of transaction kan. Kita guna
Yes.
maksudnya tapi you nak assess apa? Level of satisfaction kalau e-commerce platform, then e-commerce platform tu stand for sama ada Lazada or Shopee macam tu lah. Alright? So ini
Okay,
boleh
doctor.
rephrase lah. Number three. What is student relationship? I think you do not have to put student here. Okay. What is the relationship? Sebab the relationship, the words here are redundant. You use the word relationship, you use
Okay.
the word influence. Okay, relationship and influence so actually kata represent the same thing. You are going to assess the relationship between two variable. So kamu nak tengok apa kat sini? Sebenarnya at C ni, okay, in the research question C, what is actually the things that you are going to assess? What are the relationship yang kamu nak assess kat sini?
I want to investigate whether their factors and satisfaction all are they really involved in the purchase behavior? How are they involved? How is their
Okay, so here how is not a good or a right question untuk this type of relationship. how is more on qualitative. What is the best? What is the best? What? Okay, the word what is
Okay.
the best word lah kat sini. Okay, but actually, what are the IV and DV you are going to look at for this relationship? Okay, for example, you want to look at the how satisfaction influence behavior. So you can say what is the relationship between customer satisfaction, student satisfaction and purchase behavior. So itu berbeza lah IV and DV. Okay?
Okay, doctor, understand.
Ataupun nak tengok apa? Antara apa dan apa. Saya kat sini ni, so you have to clearly mention, you nak tengok apa? What is the relationship between IV and DV? Macam tu. So for example, kalau please go look at your framework tadi. Framework kat bawah. Okay. So, kalau kita tengok kat sini kan, ini pun salah ni dia punya framework ni. Okay. Okay, naik atas balik. So first ni tiap pula dah. Vinotira, you have to you have to make sure. Okay, actually sebab saya tengok hanya you have only one IV and DV actually, which is one variable is satisfaction. Second level is purchase behavior, right? So you have to go back to your literature review. So in previous study, they study relationship ni among purchase behavior and satisfaction. Is it satisfaction influence purchase behavior or behavior influence satisfaction? Which one is the right IV and DV for your study based on the previous study? Okay, so you need to define or you need to identify this one first. Okay, you need to define which one is IV and which one is DV based on the previous study. Kita tak boleh main agak-agak, tak boleh lah. Okay, so based on that, you come up with your RQC here. Okay, what is the relationship between IV and DV kat situ?
Okay.
Okay. Dan I think D is not suitable to put here because I think actually you only have one IV and one DV, which is purchase intention or purchase behavior or and satisfaction, customer satisfaction lah kan.
Yes.
Okay. Tengok balik kat sini So same goes to your RO. So when you change your RQ, then you also have to change your RO. Nanti ubah dulu baru kita tengok lain. But again, this is just my opinion. It is up to you and your supervisor. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, doctor, for your.
Okay. Okay. Go to slide 6. Okay ke? Semua orang okay ke? Kalau saya, is it okay with you? Saya comment macam ni. I give this comment for your proposal. Is it okay with you? Boleh ke? Okay Yang lain okay ke? So because I want to make sure that we are in the right track at the very beginning of our research. Kena betul dulu. Okay. So okay, for Vinotira again. Okay, in this framework. Okay. So for framework you only have 2 part in any framework. Okay, 3 lah. IV, DV and other variable. Okay, but this one IV here. Okay, IV is the factors that influence or that give impact to the DV. Okay, for example, if my study, let's say for example, I want to study how or what is the relationship between weight and stress. Okay, so for example, I want to study a relationship between weight and stress. Okay, so I have to read from the previous research. Okay, is it weight influence stress or stress influence weight? Kan? So kita tak boleh main, we cannot guess the relationship. Okay, you need to have the solid justification from the previous study. So for example lah, okay, for my case, let's say from the previous study, I found I can have either relationship, meaning that previous study also have studied the relationship. Okay, meaning that they said that weight can influence stress, and also a few study that study stress that can also influence weight. So let's say I decided to choose for my study. I want to look at how weight influence stress. So my weight that influence stress. So weight is my independent variable. Why? Because they've influence ataupun they give impact kepada dependent variable, which is stress. So here, Vinotira, first you need to
Yes.
find your IV and DV. Okay, which
Okay.
IV that will influence your DV. For example, here for your for your research here, what I can see. Okay, let's say you are going to look at here. So factors here, you cannot put factors here. Factors here is too general. You need to be very specific. What are the factors that you are going to look? Okay, tak boleh letak factors sahaja macam tu. You need to identify what are the factors that you are going to study. Because how are you going to ask your respondent about the factors that influence the dia punya itulah dependent variable pun I can see what is your dependent variable here. Okay, so I
Okay.
think the impact of e-commerce should not be the dependent variable. The dependent variable must be very specific. For example, kan, for example, Vinotira, you are going to look how satisfaction level impact attitude. So your
Okay.
satisfaction level will be your IV. The
Okay.
impact of attitude will be dependent variable. Macam tu. Nah? So you
Okay.
cannot put just factors macam tu. Factors is too general. You need to list down the factors. You need to be very specific on what are the factors. Because when you go through the literature review, you will find a lot of factors that impact the
Yes.
attitude, for example. So you cannot put the factors very general macam tu. Unless Vinotira, you are going to look at the qualitative approach. Kalau
Okay.
qualitative approach, kamu boleh put, okay, you can ask your respondent, what are the factors that influence you to use e-commerce platform? So there is no right or wrong answer. There is no option. They can put any answer,
And
any factors. Yang tu boleh. But
okay, doctor.
when you are doing the quantitative, you need to be very specific. What are the factors that you are going to look? Ataupun you just want to look at the attitude or satisfaction level towards attitude, meaning that satisfaction level is your IV and dependent variable is your attitude. But we cannot simply put the IV and DV. Okay, it must come from the previous study. Boleh, Minutira?
Okay. Can doctor, thank you. Yes.
Okay, so I will stop here because I think you need to revise your research question, research objective and framework first before we proceed to the methodology and so on. Boleh?
Okay. Yes, doctor. Thank
Alright.
you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next is Kamun. Are you ready, Kamun? Automatically, I will give you the mark kat sini, terus bagi kat mark untuk kamu, eh?
Doctor, can you see my
Yes.
slide?
Yes, I can. Okay, please proceed.
Hello, good afternoon to Dr. Noor Hasmaidayu and my fellow classmate. My name is Lokamu with metro number 2715666. So today I'm going to be present about my proposal title and investigation on blended learning, the impact of attitude, interaction, and quality of teaching on satisfaction of undergraduate student in UUM. So through this study,
Okay, Kamun, wait, Kamun.
yeah.
Okay, this is a very good title. Okay, so actually, when look at the title itself, okay, we can know the IV and the DV. Okay, so your title should reflect your IV and DV if you are doing the relationship or cause and effect research. Okay, so for example here, okay, look at the kamu punya title here. An investigation on blended learning. So the scope here is regarding the blended learning, the impact of attitude, interaction, quality of teaching on satisfaction of undergraduate student in University Utara Malaysia. So by looking at the title itself, saya dah tahu dah. I already know what are the IVs, what are the DV for this topic, which is the IV is attitude, interaction and quality of teaching, and the DV is the satisfaction. And from the title, I can view in my mind what are the form of framework. Nanti kamu akan tunjukkan kita framework kan. So this is a very good formation of title. Okay, so you need to put very clear. Kalau kat sini, kamu also can put the factors. But, okay, for quantitative study, you cannot just generally put factors, okay? To identify the factors, okay. But you need to be very specific what are the factors that you are going to study. Because, okay, in previous research, you can search, you can see, you can find a lot of factors. But you need to be very specific, okay? You are not going to study all the factors, but you are going to select a few factors that you can study for your research lah. Okay, thank you Kamu. Sorry for the interruption.
No. Through this study, it's important for researchers to study this topic because this gives a clear picture of whether better learning used by UM meets the satisfaction of undergraduate students in terms of attitude, interaction, and quality of teaching. Furthermore, the researcher wants to know the better learning and provided by UUM whether it can produce professional graduates in the future.
Okay. Okay, proceed.
The purpose of this study also allow researchers to determine the scope of which attitudes, intention, and quality of teaching contribute to the satisfaction of students at UUM towards better learning. To reach the purpose of this study, several research question has been identified. The first one is what is the attitude of UUM's undergraduate students towards blended learning? Second, what type of interaction is used by UUM undergraduate students in the blended learning classroom? Third, what are the factors can affect the quality of teaching in blended learning provided by UM? Fourth, what is the perception of UM undergraduate students on satisfaction with blended learning technology? And the last one is to what scope do attitudes, interaction, and teaching quality contribute to the satisfaction of UM undergraduate student with blended
Okay,
learning?
stop. Please stop here. Okay, the title is very good. It's very clear, but research question is too many, and it not reflect the title. Okay, actually, okay, by looking at your title, come on. Actually, you can have one, two, three research question. Okay, only three research question that very specific reflect to your title. Tadi kan, kamu nak tengok first apa? Relationship between
Attitude,
attitudes,
interaction, and factors.
interaction,
And quality of teaching. Yeah.
Talika. So, in my opinion, again, I stress, in my opinion, your first research question is, what is the relationship between attitudes and student satisfaction? First. Okay? So, ataupun tadi, what are the relationship between attitudes and satisfaction of UUM undergraduate student with blended learning? First. Okay? Yang kedua, the second one, very straightforward, macam your title. The second one, what is the relationship between interaction and satisfaction of UUM undergraduate student? Yang kedua. The third one, what is the relationship between teaching quality and satisfaction of UUM undergraduate student? Itu je. Okay?
Oh, okay.
You do not have to what is the attitude. Kalau what is the attitude, how are you going to measure attitude? Macam mana nak measure? And kan, okay, attitude. Second, what type of interaction? What do you mean what type of interaction kan? So these all of these things, okay, it is you can ask, you can achieve, you can aim at for this research. But I think the most important research question is your 3 IV tadi and the DV tadi. Okay? Because that is the most important thing that you want to achieve by looking at the title tadi kan, ada 3 benda. Okay, number 4, what is the perception? Okay, so basically usually perception ni we do not measure quantitative lah. Perception ni biasa qualitative, tapi ada juga perception. But here, okay, looking at your 1, 2, 3, 4 research question here, it's not reflect your title tadi. Kan, sepatutnya your research question is the fourth one. Okay, the fourth one. But the fourth one you split into specific relationship yang kamu nak tengok tadi. Because the third question kat sini kan, for example, research question number 3, what are the factors affect quality of teaching? Kan? Kenapa nak tengok the effect of quality, the factors, sedangkan your title tadi, the impact of 1 and 2 and 3 terhadap satisfaction. Betul tak kamu? Okay tak?
Yeah, doctor.
So in my opinion, okay, you should have 3 research questions. Okay, specifically mention First, you want to look at the relationship. Sebab you look at for your title tadi kan, the impact. So the first one, the impact or the relationship between attitudes and satisfaction of blended learning among UUM undergraduate student. The first one. Okay, the second one, okay, sebab to what scope here, it does not reflect the relationship. Kan? What scope kan? So because your title is going to measure the relationship tadi, the impact. Okay, the second one, to study ataupun to investigate the impact or the relationship between interaction on satisfaction of blended learning among Universiti Utara Malaysia UM and the graduate student. Yang kedua. The third one is to investigate the teaching quality, the relationship between teaching quality and satisfaction. Tu tiga tu je cukup. Tak perlu sampai 4 ni. Okay? Because 1, 2, 3 and 4 ni pun sepatutnya 5 kan. First question, second question, third, fourth, fifth kan. Ada 5 kat sini. Fifth research, ada 5 research question kat sini. But I think it is enough for you to have that 3 research question as I mentioned previously. That can reflect your title tadi. Boleh tak?
Okay, Doktor.
Kalau if you are going to look at the factors that affect quality of teaching kat sini, you are going to study a few things, a new things pula. Bukan look at the satisfaction. You are going to expand lagi, lebih lagi. So dia akan jadi quite complicated lah. Boleh saja dibuat, tapi the most important one adalah the fifth question kat sini. Ini yang perlu di highlight because it's reflect your title tadi. Okay, next. Pergi pada framework. Do you have your framework?
Tak ada, Doktor.
Okay, tak apa, buat dulu.
Tapi saya boleh share saya punya proposal.
Okay, tak apa. It doesn't matter. This is what you write in proposal kan? Okay. Okay, apa dah ada dekat fifth slide? Tengok slide ke-45.
Yang ni objektif
Alright.
research methodology.
Okay, tak apa. Sini okay lagi. Okay, quantitative. Memang semi-structure. Oh, you are going to use semi-structure interview.
Ya, Doktor.
Why? To answer which research question?
Ketiga-tiga IB itu. Ada
Why?
interaction, quality of
Why you
teaching.
use interview?
Sebab bagi dia punya view, macam view student berkaitan dengan IB ketiga-tiga itu.
Okay, because the
Viewpoints
title is
mana?
to measure the relationship. So to measure the relationship, I think quantitative approach is good enough. Qualitative ni, if you are going to understand, you want to understand why this thing happened, why this phenomena happened, why it happened this way, not this way. Itu adalah qualitative. Okay, but for the quantitative, you want to measure that the thing that already have the relationship. Just you want to measure the relationship. So that one, the quantitative approach is more suitable lah, in my opinion. In my opinion, your opinion again lah. Okay, so you do not have to get orang kata, because you just want to measure the relationship, you do not have to get the perception ke, you do not have to come up with the opinion from the respondent. You do not have to do that. Okay?
Okay,
You just have you just come up with a set of questionnaire, okay, with like a point ke apa-apa, because you use the word measure. Unless you want to understand, you want to explore the issue. This issue is very rare. This issue is very unique, for example, that cannot be captured by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like a scale. Then you can have the qualitative. Okay tak?
Doktor.
Itu sajalah. That's my opinion lah. Okay, again, it's up to you and your supervisor. Okay? Macam saya kata, bergantung pada kamu. Just bincang, this is my opinion lah. To make sure that you are in the right track, your RQ and RO are well developed. Sebelum we proceed to the research method. Okay? So thank you kamu, thank you very much. So I think we managed to get only 3 presentation. Okay. So for next class we are going to continue dengan presentation. We have to proceed very fast before you start with your research method, research data collection and so on. Okay, so please next class ada lagi banyak ramai lagi ni tak belum bersedia. Maybe I will have the option so that we can have the discussion or the presentation outside class, maybe on Thursday ke, kalau ada siapa-siapa yang free, so we can percepatkan sikit the presentation. So maybe on Wednesday we have a few slot. So kamu boleh present. I prefer to have live presentation, not the recorded presentation, because I can interrupt, I can ask you the question and so on. Is it okay with you? Boleh ke? Okay ke? Okay nah. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Okay, so for next session, I'm going to schedule a free session maybe for tomorrow. So if you are free, so you can put your name then on the slot, then kemudian kita akan ada presentation. Okay, so I hope this presentation is not give you some much burden ke, or you rasa stress ke. Okay, I think it is for your own good lah before we proceed. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Thank you very much, class, for your participation. Okay, and I hope to see you in the next session. Okay, thank you. We postpone with our session with Tasbih Kafara